Hello, amazing fourth graders. We're here for lesson 6.6, comparing fractions using benchmarks. So here's everything you're going to need for today's lesson. It's really important you have your fraction sheet, so that way you're able to glue it into your math notebook. Your I can statement or objective today is I can compare fractions using benchmarks. So we're going to be comparing. We're going to be finding if fractions are equal, if they are greater than, or if they are less than. So I want you to think, what is a benchmark? Now here's the definition of a benchmark. A benchmark is a known size or amount that helps you understand a different size or amount. Okay, what are some numbers that have helped you understand a different size or amount? I know for me, I've used benchmarks for understanding rounding when I round to the nearest 10 or to the nearest 100, for example. Can you think of any benchmarks that you use, maybe in real life? Love seeing your thinking face. So another benchmark that I use is whenever I have a pizza and I'm really, really hungry and I want to eat half of that pizza. I know what half a pizza looks like. Do you know what half a pizza looks like? Okay. So we're going to be looking at benchmark fractions today, and I just gave away the most important one we're going to be using today. We're going to be using 1/2. Okay. So if you look at this number line right here, right at the halfway point or right in the middle, that is a fraction that I can use to help me whenever I'm comparing them to other fractions. Now, there are two other types of benchmark fractions, 0, okay, and also 1/2. So anytime that the numerator, this 2 on top, matches the denominator, the 2 on bottom, that is 1/2. So those are our three benchmark fractions. But we're really going to be using 1/2 to help us out today. So if I want to compare 5/8 with 1/2, so my benchmark is 1/2, okay? And I can compare that to 5/8. So here I have 1/2 as my fraction tile. And if I compare that to 5/8, I can see that 5/8, 1/8, 2/8, 3/8, 4/8, and 5/8 is greater than 1/2, okay? So it's greater than 1/2. Now, I can also represent this on a number line, and this is what we're going to be looking at today. We'll take a look at this example here, and then we'll move to our math notebook and take a look at some examples there. So when we compare 5/8 to 1/2, we have this number line. So starting at 0, I have 8 more tally marks, all the way until I get to 1/2. So 0, 1/8, 2/8, 3/8, 4/8, 5/8, 6/8, 7/8, and 8/8. Now, if you were to take a look at this, and maybe without touching the screen, but with your finger, see if you can put your finger on 1/2, okay? Put your finger where you think 1/2 is, okay? I know for me, when I put my finger, 1/2 is right here. That's right in the middle of this number line. So right in the middle of 1/2 would be 4/8, okay? Now 5/8 is greater than 4/8. So comparing using our benchmarks, where 1/2 of this number line, or 4/8, 5/8 is greater than 1/2, okay? So this is one strategy that you can use to help compare. Let's move to our math notebook and try taking a look at some examples there. All right, amazing fourth graders. So here I am in my math notebook. If you haven't already done so, please make sure you have your I can statement written down. Remember, our I can statement is I can compare fractions using benchmarks. And just to refresh your memory on what a benchmark is a known number of things that helps you understand the size or amount of a different number of things. Here I have a picture of it. So 0, 1/2, and 1 are familiar benchmarks on our number line. We're going to be using 1/2 today to help us. So let's take a look at the example I just showed you using our math notebook. Okay, please follow along with me as I work through these problems. So we have 5/8, and we want to compare that using our benchmark 1/2. Okay, so I can draw a number line. So if I pick a place to start on my graph paper, I am going to use my denominator to make my number line. Okay, this is review, something we should already know how to do. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Okay, so this is 0, and this is 8/8 or 1/2. Okay, so whenever I'm making my number line for my benchmark fraction, just make a number line that is the same length, okay? Where we started 0, halfway, 1/2, and 1/2, okay? So this is my benchmark number line that I'm going to use right here. Now 5/8, 1/8, 2/8, 3/8, 4/8, and 5/8. This is where 5/8 would be, okay? And so I know that 5/8 is greater than 1/2, which is represented just like that. All right, let's take a look at the next example where we have 1/2 and 3/4. Now I know that 1/2 is my benchmark fraction, so I need to make 3/4. I'm going to find my starting point on my graph paper. That's 0. I'm going to go the total number and create my number line based off of this denominator right here. So I have 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, so this is 0. This is 4/4, and I'm going to go ahead and fill in the rest of this. So 1/4, 2/4, and 3/4. Okay, so now I can plot on my number line 3/4. So here's where 3/4 is. Okay, now when I'm making a number line using my benchmarks, making my number line the same length, okay, I have 0, I have 1/2, and right in the middle, I have 1/2. Okay, so as you can see, using your number line, if we compare 3/4 to 1/2, 3/4 is greater than 1/2. And if we read that from left to right, we have 1/2 is less than 3/4. Okay. Okay, fourth graders. So before we take a look at some examples in our GoMath workbook, I want you to try and compare 1/2 to 2/3, 4/5 to 1/2, and 3/6 to 1/2. Please go ahead, pause the video, give them a try on your own. Welcome back. Let's take a look and compare our fractions. So here we have 1/2 compared to 2/3. So here on my number line, I have 2/3 and 1/2. I see that 1/2 is less than 2/3. Okay, what about 4/5 and 1/2? So hopefully your number line looks something like this, where 4/5 is greater than 1/2. And finally, 3/6 compared to 1/2. Ooh, hopefully you noticed that they are equal. They are at the same distance, so they are equal. And because we've learned in a previous video how to make equivalent fractions, let's say we had 1/2 and we wanted to make an equivalent fraction. We'd say 2 times what number gives me 6? 2 times 3 gives me 6. So does 1 times 3 equal 3? Yes, it does. Those are equivalent fractions. So that's a way that we can check our work. Now let's take a look in our GoMath workbook. Please turn to page 361 in your GoMath workbook. All right, once again, we are on page 361, and I'm going to take a look at number 2. Now, the whole point of benchmark fractions are so that you are able to quickly compare and maybe even use some mental math to compare, creating some visual models in your head. So 1/2 and 4/6. Well, I'm going to use this as a benchmark, and I know that 4/6 is more than 3/6, so it is greater than 1/2. Or 1/2 is less than 4/6. Another thing, 3/10, and compare that to a benchmark fraction 1/2. Well, I know that half of 10 is 5. So 1/2 is greater than 3/10. Okay? Or in other words, 3/10 is less than 1/2. Now, you could go ahead and draw a number line if you wanted to, but that's really what we're trying to get you to do whenever you're comparing these, is to use what you know about benchmark fractions, okay? And then go ahead and use some mental math to help you with that. Now, the last problem that we're going to look at are number 4 and number 5, because sometimes you can still use benchmark fractions to help you compare numbers that aren't a benchmark fraction. So right here, neither one of these are a benchmark fraction. So I have 11/12 and we have 4/8. Now 11/12, is that less than, greater than, or equal to 1/2? I know that 11/12 is greater than 1/2, okay? Now 4/8, 4/8, is it greater than, less than, or equal to 1/2? Well, you may remember that 4/8 is equal to 1/2 from our first example. So if I were to take a look at this, I know 11/12 is greater than 1/2, and 4/8 is equal to 1/2. So that must mean that 11/12 is greater than 4/8. You're doing amazing, okay? Go ahead and try number 5 on your own. Go ahead and pause the video, try number 5. So 5/8 and 2/5. You need to think, is 5/8 greater than, less than, or equal to 1/2? So if I have 5/8 and we have 1/2, 5/8 is greater than 1/2. If you need to, please go back, grab some of your graph paper, okay? Grab some of your graph paper and create your number line. And you have 2/5, okay? So if you want to compare 2/5 and 1/2, okay? Now, this one's a little bit tricky. You might need a number line. I know that I did. So here I have it. We're going to start off. We're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So here I have 0, 1/5, 2/5, 3/5, 4/5, and 5/5. Okay, and 2/5 is right here. Let me go ahead and draw my benchmark number line where I have 0, I have 1, and right in the middle of it, I have 1/2. So you can see that 2/5 is less than 1/2. Well, if 5/8 is greater than 1/2 and 2/5 is less than 1/2, then 5/8, there's a pretty good chance, is greater than 2/5. So that's what we're doing today. We are comparing using benchmark fractions. Have an amazing Osprey day.